Hello everyone, welcome to Fashion Calgary. My name is Anya Basak and I'm here today with Jay Ingram. Did I say it right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, just to give a little bit more info about this wonderful person. Jay Ingram, science broadcaster, co-host of Discovery Channel science show Daily Planet for 16 years, CBC radio host, author of many publications.
Well, you know a lot about me.
Well, just wait. Recipient of many awards and medals, including the Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal and the recipient of the Order of Canada. Well, to be honest, when I read your biography, I'm like, where should I start? Where should I end? It's endless. How do you feel about all the achievements that you've done so far?
You know, the truth is, if you stick around long enough, they have to give you something. So, you know, I've been doing science writing, science broadcasting for, I don't know, probably more than 40 years. So, you know, inevitably, and I'm sure that when I die, they'll say nice things about me, so it'll cap off my career perfectly.
40 years, really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that, but you look so great. But what I wanted to ask you, when actually and how did your passion for science started?
So it's a good question because it didn't really start it wasn't school or teachers in school that inspired me. For reasons that I'm not even sure about, I started being really interested in bird watching when I was 6 or 7 years old. I still have a bird guide that my mother gave me on my 7th birthday. And then I got a microscope when I was in about grade 7, so I was 12 or whatever. And I started looking at things on the microscopic level. And you know, I never realized that actually none of my friends did that. It was just me. But I thought it was perfectly normal. So I got interested in nature, which then became a bigger interest in science. All on my own, I think. I mean, my parents weren't biologists or anything, so I don't quite know where it came from, but it seems natural. I'm still a bird watcher. I'm still interested in science.
That's amazing. What would be, if I ask you, the most exciting part of your everyday job?
So my everyday job today is a bit different than it used to be, and I'll just go back to TV. I mean, there were times in television where I got to go to really amazing places. So, and probably the best was I got to go where Jane Goodall studies chimpanzees in Africa, and actually go to her little patch of woods there. So that was pretty amazing. Today, you know, I tend to spend as much of my life outdoors as possible, and where I live, I can walk for 1 minute and be in the forest. And I think that's a kind of study too. It's not formal, and I don't write essays about what I saw on my walks. It's just part of being in the world. But so these days, it's mostly coming across really cool and interesting ideas, not necessarily going to cool and interesting places.
Okay. And what was the most memorable experience during the whole career? And my own question, the most dangerous one?
Dangerous.
If they were any dangerous.
Yeah, not super dangerous. Let me answer the first one first. So being in Gombe at Jane Goodall's place was one. Being in Kazakhstan for the launch of the first piece of the International Space Station, that was actually pretty amazing. And if you think about retired cosmonauts drinking a lot of vodka, that might also have been my most dangerous.
Oh, we have something in common.
What, vodka or cosmonauts?
I think well, we start with vodka, then we can go to the second part.
But you know, I've been with people who did dangerous stuff, but I tried not to.
And if I want to also ask you about the Beakerhead, because it's kind of mixing arts and engineering. Where this idea came from, and what's really the purpose of it?
So really the idea came from my partner Marianne Moser. She and I are co-founders, but the truth is it was her idea and she kind of just dragged me along. But I love it. I love it. And the point really is, we think especially students are told too early and too often, you're a technical type, you should go into engineering, you're artistic, you shouldn't. And we believe, really strongly believe, that all of us have a little bit of both. And we think that if you combine both, whether you encourage it within one person or you bring an artist together with an engineer, you can create things that would otherwise not be created. And so Beakerhead is an effort to show everybody in Calgary, look at the fantastic things that you can do if you integrate art, science, and engineering. That's why we do it.
And if you could encourage the young generation to get more involved into science, is there any message that you would like to kind of pass?
You know, I think I wouldn't pass a message on to them because I think they have to believe it and experience it themselves. So what we're doing with Beakerhead, though, is trying to just open kids' eyes to the really fabulous things that can be done with both art and science. And don't neglect art, but don't neglect science either. And don't think that science isn't creative. It is creative. It's just that people aren't made aware of that. And so that's why we hope Beakerhead will continue to do that for years to come.
Okay. And my last question, like you've been traveling a lot and seen lots of places. What do you think makes Calgary so special or so unique, especially when it comes to culture and art?
I think, and I lived in Toronto for a long time before coming here. And yet, even in just a few short years, I've been involved in several projects here in Calgary that I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have happened in Toronto. And I think it's partly a combination of it's a young, growing city and people are looking for interesting things to do. And partly there's an openness, an attitude to, hey, that's kind of cool, let's do it. And, you know, just coming back to Beakerhead, one of our main ideas is we are not going to sit around and just talk about doing things. We're going to do things. Sometimes they fail, sometimes they don't. But if you're just going to sit and talk, nothing will ever happen.
That's for sure. And I'm so happy that we found time and we made it happen. We did the photo shoot. We are so happy that you accepted our invitation to be one of the ambassadors for this year's campaign. So thank you for that.
My pleasure.
Thank you.